Damn, son, where'd you find this?
People don't be offended by the truth. They be offended because you called out the truth. Simple as that. They don't want to hear any other narrative that makes them look bad.
One thing I can't stand at this big grown age is somebody who act like cause and effect does not exist. Like, yes, your actions caused this outcome. Yes, what you did lit the match. Like, why are you surprised and playing victim?
Guys, Chico, they never lied.
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late. They cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide isn't run on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep, longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed, begging the generations remember our story.
How's everybody doing today? Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Shout outs to my poets, writers, content creators. You know who you are. To the crew, salutes to you all. I hope you are warm. I hope you are productive. I hope you have a clear head today. Let me bring Coach up. You see a title. I got a quick clip I want to play. We're going to chop this up. Appreciate y'all for being here. Do me a solid, like, share, repost, let the people know that we are on. Good morning, Grand Risings. What's the word?
Hey, what's good, man? Chilling. Having a good morning so far, man. Just trying to keep it going, keep the momentum going. How about yourself?
About the same. Came across this story when I was on TikTok. Jaw dropped. Yeah, because I'm like, not again, man. Like, again, bro. Come on.
You switched the title up on me, man.
I did. I know, man, because the thing was, sometimes I double book stuff, and I had already done something on the original one, so I had to hurry up and swap it out real quick. But honorable mention to that brother, because that doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, black man saves 14 people. He couldn't get to the other 3, which was unfortunate, but it was nice to highlight that. I might have to just spin back on that one though, because he deserves his flowers. He really do. That was the whole purpose of me even creating that one in specific. But I saw this and I was like, man, come on, bro.
All right, what you got?
So for the people who are not familiar, Offset gets caught up with Celina Powell. I'm gonna play this clip real quick and then we're just gonna run it down.
Social media is clowning after Offset got caught lacking by #1 industry thought Celina Powell. You can literally chat GBT how many men this shawty has exposed or set up, and it's over 24. She even stole from G Herbo crib, and they had to go run up on her and get it all back. Now she's flexing. She got a tape ready to expose it. Offset, Cardi B, get back together, bro. You guys clearly was canceling out each other's bird brain, because when y'all haven't been together, y'all online for the most idiotic things you ever seen. Respectfully, instead of evolving as humans, you guys have devolved to birds. And I don't know what it is with these rappers and celebrities that keep on linking up with Shawty. Like, why does everyone keep linking up with her? Is it because she's that easy, or is it because she's the only one that, you know, I'm not even gonna say what I think. It's crazy, bro. Anyways, what do you guys think about the situation? I'm just reporting on what you guys sent me to report on.
I don't know how familiar you are with Celina Powell, but he gave you a quick little synopsis of her background. She's pretty much an industry eater. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, even with knowing the track record, people still mess around with this drink. And I'm trying to figure out why. Like, what are we doing with this? What's your initial thoughts? First of all, do you even know who she is?
I don't.
Right, yeah. She's pretty much a video vixen / adult actress / clout chaser / IG influencer /
I got you.
So she has a pattern. She has a type. And they keep falling for this specific woman. I mean, what are your initial take with?
Hey man, to each his own, man. I mean, he looked like he's resting peacefully in the bed. I don't know what the issue is, other than her taking a picture and blasting all over social media. I mean, I don't know what do you think of it? Educate me, man. Enlighten me.
So the problem here is Offset was, well, I ain't gonna say was. He's married still, but separated from Cardi B. Cardi B is pretty much an idol for a lot of people out there. They worship the ground she walked on. They have mixed feelings towards him because they feel like he did her all kinds of dirty. There's always drama between him and her. They have kids together. And Cardi moved on to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is in trouble with allegedly strangling a woman. When you think of Offset and you think of Cardi B, all you really think about is drama. Is just a whole bunch of mess. The issue I think a lot of people have with him is they don't really know if he's a good parent. They don't really know if he's handling his situation with Cardi B as best as he can. Also, on top of that, people are just looking at the situation like Celina Powell is pretty much a modern day Jezebel spirit, man. She goes and moves from person to person, destroying people's life. And my take on it is you fall for it. You go for it every single time. It's like you guys have a type. Y'all just don't know how to stay away from toxic ass women. It's not like we get on social media and we don't see what's happening. 80 people cover the same story. 20 of them 80 break it down better than the other 60. Some people have information that the other person doesn't. So these are celebrities. These are people that are in a spotlight. You know what they got going on. So when you still decide that you're going to pursue these people, knowing that they're probably a walking red flag, Nobody feels sorry for you one bit. So that's where this is where my issue is. Why do people see all of the red flags and still decide that they want to go down that road? Like, you niggas, you making all this money, you got all this access, you can pretty much pick who you want to lay down with, for real, and y'all still go after that. Don't make no sense.
What's the? So did something happen? I'm trying to figure out why everybody's in such an uproar about who they're choosing to date.
Then people are looking at him like he's a fucking idiot, because she's pretty much a streetwalk. She's a 304.
I get it, but I mean, again, I guess I'm trying to figure out why everybody's so upset. Did he say he wasn't dating somebody like that, or is this just something like the latest thing to talk about? I just don't understand why people are mad if he chooses to date somebody of that stature.
At Spartacus, this is about Offset making a sex tape with Celina Powell. I was answering this question. The issue is, it's the topic of today. It's what's buzzing. It's what's trending. Really, nobody should really give a fuck about it, because that's their personal business in life. But you make it public, so people are going to talk about it.
Right.
That's really what this is.
No, yeah, I get it. I mean, like you said earlier, obviously there's a trend in the type of men and women that they both like. We talked about Stefan. He's in the middle of something with that's the one with the strangulation, allegedly, right, with the chef.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so birds of a feather kind of flock together. So it's just that environment, man, that toxicity, like you already explained. So, some people just like what they like, I guess. It's hard to explain, other than the obvious. Everybody coming from their own version of trauma, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
At Spartacus, I'm glad you said that, because everybody not tuned into this shit. Like, because it's not really that big of a deal. It's just a bunch of rich people doing the same average shit that regular people on the street do.
No, it's a big deal, because, like you said, they're influencers, and people are looking up to them. So unfortunately, it is a big deal, because everybody's shining light on it. So with everybody shining light on it and talking about it, it's getting more notoriety to kids, followers, et cetera, et cetera. And it just depends on what you do with the highlight that you point out, I think. So just if you point it out and you're talking about it for a particular reason, whether it's to educate or humiliate, I just got to make sure you identify which side of the fence you stand on, I guess.
So to your point and to Spark's point, let me see if I can try to combine the two. There's a reason why I am in agreement with you 555. That stuff is toxic, like Coach just said. It's a bad influence on the mind. It's not that I don't care about the humans in general. Is some stuff doesn't really add anything productive or positive to your growth or your development. It's like a bunch of brain rot. But unfortunately, because these people are in the spaces that they are in, they can get on TV and say, go buy you a family bucket of KFC, give you a quick minute commercial, and then you're going to go to KFC and get it because they said it. And I'm just using that as an example because it's a number of things. Go buy some AirPods. Go buy you some makeup. It'll make you look prettier. Go buy my album. and I'll be your friend. And it's like a number of things that a person can do in their space, and you'll be like, oh, I feel like I'm a part of their life. They invited me into their personal business, so I'm a part of the family. You're not, though. And then the next thing you know, you trying to act like them, you're trying to rap like them, talk like them, you try to emulate their relationship. What you say yesterday, most people, they're liars. They're not even being true to themselves. So I don't care, because people have sex all the time. People cheat on each other all the time. People make horrible decisions all the time. What I do have an issue with is y'all look up to these folks. I can understand if they was teaching you geometry or how to spend your money wiser or what to invest in, how to get over and through the system, and how to create a better family dynamic. That's not what this is, though.
So what's the intent then? I guess since you said you use an example, 80 people might be covering it, 20 might cover it well, 60 might not do as well. What's the what should we be doing with this information? Because you said they're putting a bad example out there, but if 80 people are covering the bad example, the 80 people covering the bad example might be highlighting more than the individuals that displayed it once.
So solution based. I want to find some type of balance to this. Why are we consuming it so much? How can we understand why it's so negative? How to divert our attention to something more productive? It's not necessarily. I don't want to be highlighting or celebrating negativity. I would like to say, hey, look, people, these are your heroes. They're not really your heroes. We need to direct our attention to people who are actually being conducive to anything that we are trying to do moving forward. This is how we do it. This is what we should be looking into. Here's links to this. Here's links to that. This is all a distraction, and that's just change the course of the discussion. Let's forget about, all right, this is Celina Powell. She's X and such and such, and this is such and such and such and such. Oh, they did this. Let's talk about why we care so much. How does it impact us? Should we be so invested? Does the end results of all of this drama and gossip, does any of this do anything for us? And where do we go from here? That's my concentration.
What does she do? You said videos. Does she make music or anything like that?
She is an adult actress.
Like film star?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, what's that? What the hell are you expecting then? I mean, might be too much stock put into some of these so-called heroes that you're talking about out there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that might be. And then, like Spartacus just said, turn the channel. You definitely shouldn't be looking up to those individuals. That's especially if they, because that's almost she posted a sex tape, or that's like revenge porn or something like that, ain't it?
She has a history of exposing celebrities.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah, she sleeps with celebrities, then she gets on podcasts and different programs, and then she brags about how she ate this person's ass out, how she did this. Yeah, she said she ate 50 Cent ass out.
All right.
She, she
Yeah, so definitely okay. So it's a strategy behind it. That's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like that's her business plan is find somebody who's successful, engage into a relationship, record it, market it, and use it for content.
you're
Okay,
right.
all right, yeah, that's one way to go about doing things.
Yeah,
I definitely would suggest that out there to the young men and women growing up. Definitely find a different lane as far as for looking for content. But yeah, unfortunately, man, these days with sex being degraded and meaningless, over sexualized, you know, overstimulated, man, area that we're in, people just don't value that anymore or themselves, man. And it appears to be that people, will hoard themselves out for anything, lacking the self worth and the value. But then again, some people may call that art. So again, it's subjective, like everything else is, just depending on your morals and your compass. But definitely, if you're exposing people and use it for monetary value, then I say definitely that's the issue, and that's something that's, something definitely to highlight the lack thereof, or the ability to put it to the side to gain monetarily. That's something to talk about.
yeah, for sure. We've gotten too far away from morality and values, like Spartacus said. You go back. I still live in the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. I still live by those principles. There are things that you would get shunned for now. Back then, ain't no way in the world you'd have all this stuff so prevalent on social media. Ain't no way in the world you'd be able to say this and say that. What? And then now it's like, all right, everything is acceptable. Everything is cool. You can do whatever the hell you want, damn near.
Yeah, living in America. That's why people come to this country. It's the freedom to do each one of those 1 through 4 or 5. You know, from freedom of speech to the right to bear arms to everything else, man. And, people just, I think, are taking full advantage of what their capabilities are and their freedoms are here. And yeah, like you said, looking at old traditions or whatever, and you can talk to somebody from today, they probably wouldn't be too hell bent on doing some of the things the older people were doing back in the day, i.e., working in not treadmills, but steel mills and on the docks and the railroads and all that kind of stuff. You wouldn't get nobody from today even thinking about entertaining that type of work and hard labor. So people are just using whatever they can, man, to I hate to say it, whatever talents they think they may have to get out there and try to make an extra dollar. The actual finding a trade, using your hands, in a more in a more effective way of working. People aren't looking to do those things these days. So yeah, it's these times are different, man, and it's you can talk so much about the kids or the young adults, but what happened to the parents that was raising them? You know what I mean? So in totality, you have to look at it overall. You just can't point the finger and say, these kids nowadays or these young adults nowadays, because either they raised themselves or they didn't raise themselves. They was raised by somebody. And then you need to look at that in totality. Again, it goes back to the accountability piece, because everybody's talking about these kids, but nobody's talking about the parents that raise these kids.
Exactly. Especially with the whole pronouns and all that. I hear you. I hear you. I miss playing outside in the dirt. You had to be in the house before the street lights came on. Rules and regulations. I asked the question, is there a such thing as child? I know, well, let me rephrase that. Is disciplining your children child abuse? That's the question I asked. You brought up something about there not being that accountability piece in the house, which is 100% accurate. Today, if you try to discipline, it's going to be looked at as if CPS needs to come out, because you can't put your hands on your kids.
Why the hell would you put your hands on your kids anyway? You're an adult. You shouldn't be putting your hands on your kids. If you can't have a conversation with a child that you're raising, then it's something wrong with you. It ain't something wrong with that kid. Punching a kid in the face, in the mouth, or in the back of the head, hitting them with a stick or a fucking iron, those ain't the examples. Sorry, bro. I used to get the shit beat out of me as a kid, and that didn't make me a better person. It made me angry. It made me resentful, not like authority. But somebody hit me in the head with an ironing board, throwing an iron with a whip, a stick. Hell no, man. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna sit up here and agree with that shit.
Bruh, you say iron board, man? Damn.
Yeah, getting punched in the face, by an adult and you're a kid, that ain't discipline, bro. That is abuse. But yeah, you should be able to use your words, man. If you can't use your words, then you're doing a pretty shitty job as a parent. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I stand on that. I definitely don't agree with any of that shit, but yeah.
You just named a whole TLC match. That shit sounds like some WWE shit right there.
Hey, that's what everybody got stories, man, about growing up. You know what I'm saying? But an adult having to put, instill fear into a kid, that's just the lack of maturity and for lack of a better word, you definitely need to say, get you some counseling books or some parenting books, which ain't even none of those out there anymore. But, or talk to some other people. And like you said, we talked about it 1,000 times already, that whole community thing and taking the village. But yeah, definitely not putting your hands on somebody. Well, you ain't got to say punching 555, but anything of that aggressive nature and tonality, it ain't necessary, man. You attract more flies with sugar than you do shit. That's just the mentality that we've instilled into us over the time of you having to be so tough and so angry. You really don't.
I can't remember. I know it's in Proverbs where it speaks about spare not thy rod from thy child. I think there's a style, right? Because you don't have to throw your kid out the window or, no extreme shit like that or set them on fire and shit. You know what I'm saying? There's subtle ways that you can discipline your kid without it being extreme. I got the switches too. I had to go out there and pick them myself. If she didn't like the size of it, you had to go back and find another one. So I understand
the psychology in that. You're gonna have to pick your own weapon to get your ass whooped.
Man,
that's trauma, dude.
But see, that. And I think the reason why this portion of the discussion is important because we fast forward from, all right, let's freeze this. Fast forward, you have Celina Powell. She give her body away just so freely to celebrities. And then she makes a living off of making sex tapes and exposing these people and humiliating them. These people got families, married and all that. Snoop Dogg married. This man was getting his cheeks clapped by her and all type of weird little shit like that. And then you got him destroying his family, embarrassing his wife, et cetera, et cetera. And it all comes back to this right here. Parents, upbringing, how we cultivate and guide our people into a situation where they don't end up like this. Well, you can't predict it, but you can minimize the odds of them becoming like this. Because just because you are an excellent, exceptional parent doesn't mean they won't end up like Celina Powell.
I think that it's all subjective, man, because what's an excellent, whatever you said, parent, what makes that? You know what I mean? Because every kid's different, every situation's different, finances, ethnicities, all that stuff comes into play and it's all different. So, everybody can't parent their kids the same. You know what I mean? So it just depends.
What's one of the main issues that you see here with stories that surround celebrity infidelity, exposing secrets, and the people just eat it up? Like if I went to Threads or I went to X or whatever, and I see this caption with him and her in the bed, and you look under it, you see 15,000 comments underneath it. Why are we so enthralled by these stories? However, when it comes to the good and positive stuff, you barely see any reactions or engagement.
I think it, again, is algorithm based. I just think it's what you're searching for. You're gonna find what you're looking for. And once you watch a video all the way through, now your algorithm will adjust, and you'll get those type of videos. So, and that's the thing about the internet is it's transparent. What you looking for, you will find, and then once you find it, you'll get those threads to continue to go in there, and you'll continuously see the same thing over and over again. It's just the era that we live in, man. It's I don't even know why it's such a shock anymore. Everything that everybody does is pure entertainment. I said this yesterday. Everybody is starring in their own Truman Show. Everybody has a camera in their hand and they're recording the show. And every time they react, they get that dopamine kicks in, and they get a positive response. They get a positive response. They keep going back for more. And then as soon as they get a negative one, it may affect them a certain way. Post another way so that you get that negative one out of there and get four more positive responses. So it's wash, rinse, repeat. It's the same thing over and over and over again. People are searching for that gratification, that they want to be, accepted. And that acceptance is not when you walk around in real life. When you walk around in real life, you can't even make eye contact with people anymore. Everybody's got their chin in their chest. They're looking down. Nobody's looking up. You go anywhere, sit in a public area where people used to somewhat communicate. Everybody's looking down at their phone. So it's all about, how to get noticed and how to get identified, in that online source. And it's not about being too old school. It's either evolving or you get left behind. It's just as simple as that. You know what I mean? You can try to hold out all you want, and then eventually it'll be a bunch of people sitting on the sideline while everybody else is, continuing to go on and on about what they're doing. So
I get advancing. I understand that you got to change as the years progress. If you're allowed or you're blessed to see another one, it's different when you're advancing, but you're not really progressing at all. And what I mean by that is you should be able to blend your ideologies and your ways within the system that's given to you. You don't have to take the entire outline of how people move in 2026 and apply it to your life. You can take bits and pieces of what works for you, add it onto your own, and then build from that. Some people don't do that. So what you go ahead.
Go ahead.
What you have is some people, they are stuck in their ways and they're not willing to see beyond what they already understand, assuming that they already have it all figured out. Or you have people who reject certain advancements and don't see no benefits to it, and they get left behind, like you said. What I'm looking at with this entire situation here is there is no advancement with them. This looks like they just said, forget everything that was ever taught to them. They adopted to something that it pretty much says we're shunning all of the old ways and we're just going to do everything this way. This is what works for us.
Right, and that means they're advancing.
But is it advancing if it is being highlighted in a negative way?
What's the definition of advance?
So when all right, let's break this one down. When you say advanced, Celina Powell is pretty much a modern day prostitute. Offset has a broken home, a broken family. What's positive about that? Where's the advancement in that? And then on top of that, you look at that whole situation. There are people who will defend him and defend Celina Powell as if what they are exhibiting to the public is a positive thing. Like you said, they are influencers. They can pretty much tell a 15, 16-year-old, you can be a rapper too and sleep with industry IG models and this, that, and the third. All you have to do is put out some mumble rap, wear a bunch of chains around your neck, and risk your life out here in the community, and you too can have you a Celina Powell.
Would you say that's not true?
No, that's my point. It's absolutely true, which is why I'm saying, all right, so what do we mean by advancing in a positive way?
That's again, man. You keep making it personal. Advancement, the definition, development or improvement. Now, when you start talking about are they advancing, are they're no longer in a position that they were. Their situations have improved, right? Now, when you start talking about advancing, that's why I ask you, what's your definition of advancement? Because they are moving forward. They're continuing to improve in their process and in their life. Some stuff get posted online on the internet. That's not taken away from anything that they have going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's still process and it's still improvement. It might not be in the vein that you want or that's acceptable for you, but it's still improvement. So that's what I'm saying. It's again, man, it's subjective. You start talking about advancement. So are you talking about, is it advancing the culture? Is it advancing, lanes and situations for young girls and boys, or what particular aspect of it? Because if you look at them, you can become a mumble rapper and marry a girl and do some of whatever the examples you just explained, because they're showing it, case in point right there, through all the stupidity and all the other perceived things that they're doing to people that don't like. They're posting sex tapes online. They're posting all these things online, and they're continuing to advance. So again, that's what I'm saying. What are we talking about when we talk about advancing? Now, is that helping, your little black, brown boys and girls? Is that helping them advance? Yes and no, because it's giving them something that they can do, what's in their reach. But is that something that we probably want to promote to the culture, to advance the culture? Probably not. So again, it just depends on what you're talking about and how you're talking about advancing.
So to me, advancing means you are exercising muscles that you weren't before. So your diet changes. When you go to the doctor says, hey, you're looking good. Keep it up. The blood work came back. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Keep doing what you're doing. It means that the numbers, the statistics in the school system, they're improving. Kids are getting smarter. They're taking on more courses. They're getting more involved with activities that bear light in the community. This type of advancement means that families are getting closer. There's a level of healing that is being shown that gets people off the street, is putting people in a better mental state, a better spiritual state. It's holding people accountable who need to be held accountable, that otherwise would have just gotten away with so many different atrocities. It's disgusting and dissecting negativity and placing it where it's supposed to be at versus actually monetizing off of it for someone else's benefits. Advancement to me means that you live longer, that we get nuclear homes back. We stop with these stereotypes. We start to kind of break away from certain topics and conversations that just go in circles. Something like that.
They both have, both of them are the definition of advancement because you got improvement in there. You're taking it and you're making it across the board for everything. So I think that might not be the right word because with them and the sex tapes and the videos, it's the same thing. It's the same definition. And then what you just said is the same definition. You just used a different topic to surround advancement by. So, I mean, it's still the same thing. It's just whether it's subjective and it's your personal preference of how you think is helping or hurting the culture, I would say.
No, you're right. You're right. And let me just say this for the record, for me personally, because everybody is going to think differently about this. That part, that lack of accountability part, because to me, what Celina Powell is doing is not advancing nothing. All it is really doing is telling the world that sex work is okay. It's only telling people that you can do this too. And there's no, matter of fact, put it this way, you could do whatever the hell you want. You want to work the street, you want to work the pole, you can do it. Is it getting modernized? Yes, it is. You can go to Cash App. You can go to Zelle, Venmo. There's easier access. Piper Raquel just turned 18. Made OnlyFans, $3 million the first day. OnlyFans. My point is you can advance in that. Does that mean that it's positive? Does it mean that it's actually advancing anything, or is it
positive to who though? Prostitution is one of the oldest professions that's been around, man. Like you just said, yes, it's modernized. You can now take different forms and methods of payment, but I mean, if it's advancing, just like you have exotic dancers that can't afford to go to school, but they go work, go home, and eventually put themselves through college, become lawyers, doctors, whatever the case may be. That's advancement. So again, you putting your personal preference on it. It's advancement if that's all that person can do. They got a job and they help them get out of the situation that they can get in. They got money. They was able to go to school, start a career based off of it. That's still advancement. Whether it's you selling sex tapes, you selling lap dances, whatever it is, you gainfully employed. You're doing what you got to do so that you're not sitting, whether it's on the streets, at home. It's not a wrong type of advancement. If you're advancing, that's subjective. That's projecting. You can't project your personal beliefs onto somebody when they're out there putting in the work and finding a way to make it happen. And just throwing rocks and hiding your hands.
At New Gibson, the topic is Celina Powell exposing Offset. They made a sex tape. She recorded them in bed next to her. We're talking about what advancing looks like. Excellent feedback, by the way, bro. I hear you. I hear you. I think right now we're speaking about two different things when it comes to it. I'm looking at the overall outcome of these advancements. I see an 18-year-old that was just 17 being influenced by her mom. Her mom raised her on the camera, raised her on social media. Social media raised her daughter and told her that it's okay to be an OnlyFans model. And I guess maybe If y'all feel like that's okay, then that's for y'all. Matter of fact, let me just say this: my preferences are my preferences. Y'all can live however y'all want. My experiences, they come from just what I've seen and what I've observed from folks who choose specific lifestyles.
Well, hold on, man, because these ain't personal preferences. This is again. So if you're remaining open minded and you're having a conversation, it's not. I don't care what anybody does. You can do whatever you want. But what I'm saying is, you can't. You started the conversation out talking about people being shunned, and then you shun people by saying that those aren't the ways to go about doing it. So that's what I'm saying. You can't shun somebody on the way to going about doing it. There's different ways of going about doing things, but because somebody chooses a certain path, I'm saying that is still a process of advancement or progression. Because you didn't say anything about the strippers going to school, paying for college, you know what I'm saying, advancing, and then being able to get a career or different things of that nature. So that's what I'm saying. What makes one person's path better than the other path? You know what I'm saying? Especially if in the path, because I don't care what they're doing with their sex tapes, but they're generating money, they're generating income, they got people working for them, they're supporting their families, they're doing all those type of things. However, which way they're doing it, they're not going out there, because you can use that a parallel to anything out there in the street or whatever the case may be. I'm saying they're doing that. And then people have the option whether to watch it or not watch it. They have the option to engage or not engage. People still have the options out there. So because somebody's doing that, I'm just saying that's still a process, because we talked about structure all day yesterday. So within that process, it still takes discipline. It still takes work ethic. It still takes a whole lot of things when you take the personal out of it because you don't like and you think it's distasteful. It's still business. It's a $1 billion business that's going on out there, and it's still something that you have to be good at as far as whatever the case may be. So I'm just taking it. It's nothing is personal about it. These are all facts that they are actually going through and doing these things. Again, you may think it's distasteful, but the fact of the matter is they're still providing money, making money, and going through those different type of things. So that's what I'm saying. It's still the same process. You just don't like the way the actual thing that they're doing, and I don't have anything invested into it. If that's what they're doing and they're generating money and feeding families, and establishing generational wealth, that's something completely different. So that's how I look at it.
Let me say this, because I'm guilty of having a certain lifestyle too. I didn't grow up reading the Bible every day. I did things to get to where I am, and you could say it was negative or positive. It's all about perspective. This, to me, it's about the lives that you affect on your projection. Like, yeah, I'm a better version of myself than I was. But I destroyed a lot of fucking people's life in the process of getting to where I am because of my decisions. They built me. They created this person today. I still can't ignore the fact that the things that I chose to do is responsible for the pain that other people endured because of me. And that's the only point that I'm trying to make with this. You, like I said, you can do what you choose to do with that. It's like, all right, I made it out of hell. I went to school. I stripped. I twerked. You probably sucked a little some. You did what you had to do to go to college. Cool. But guess what? You still broke up a marriage. You still broke up a happy home. You still caused somebody to lose their child. You still caused somebody to commit suicide. You still put somebody in a position that they didn't volunteer to be in because of your choices and indiscretions, we can advance if God gives us the grace to be a piece of shit and loves us enough through being a piece of shit and still gives us a chance to change. Doesn't stop the fact that as we got older and we went through all of these different changes, we hurt a lot of folks.
Yeah, again, it's easy to say. In hindsight, it's 2020, but you're taking away the accountability for the other people that played roles in whatever they did. Now, honestly, you talking about somebody walked there with an AK and then just pulled the trigger. That's something completely different, like a mass shooter. But everything else, if somebody else played a role in it, then they too have to take accountability and the ownership of their part. So it might be too heavy on yourself, and just realize that everybody's not perfect. You figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? There's no tutorial. There's no guides on how to be the best version of who you are with your personality and the environment that you grow up in, and all the other factors you start factoring in, financials, education, and all those other different scenarios. You can't take accountability for everybody that you come encounter with. You can only take accountability for the stuff that you do in your part. You start talking about everybody else's lives and all this other stuff. That's too much weight on your shoulders right there. So, and then it ain't 20 years that you look back and learn something. You should be learning something every day. And that's when that self-reflecting and self-evaluating comes into play. And then what Nuke was talking about in there, again, it ain't our place to talk about what somebody's doing different from the other thing. It ain't our place to distinguish what somebody else is doing. Again, we don't know people's backgrounds and situations. You can only applaud them for coming up out of their situation and then finding a way to make it happen. Whatever they do after that, that's completely up to them. But again, I think we worry too much about what everybody else has got going on. And if, everybody really cared, there'd be counteractive or counterbalance programs out there to help people out.
So in regards to this particular story here, to kind of advance the topic or just to move forward with not actually, because I for real, I don't want to be like, oh, stone them to death, and it's
no,
not
I got
that.
you.
Yeah, it's this. All right, people, we got to do something with this stuff now. It doesn't have to just be brain rot content. We can actually turn this into something positive. What do we do now with this? Instead of just looking at it like, oh, he did this, she did this with him. What can we take from these instead of just, oh, we just talking about it just to talk about it? What can we actually take from it individually that does something for us other than just filling? It's like just filler for your day.
You talking about this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can approach it from quite a few angles, man. You can approach it from, again, the business standpoint, the to-dos, not to-dos, you can take the moral standpoint, about talk about relationships, talk about integrity, honesty. If she posted the videos without him knowing, you know what I mean? You can talk about the mindset of him going through a divorce. His wife married to somebody. I mean, his wife just got pregnant, had a baby by somebody else. Technically, by law in Atlanta, the baby is still Offset's, right? It's not even Stephon Diggs by law on paper. So, I mean, you can talk about the responsibilities of ending a marriage, so that, you know what I'm saying, the psychological aspects of your wife getting pregnant by somebody else, still being married. And then I think he was holding on because he wanted the money for the what was it? I know he wanted something. It was some issues they was talking about. The reason why he just didn't sign the divorce paperwork was something about some money or alimony or something along those lines. But you know what I mean? So you could talk about the unhealthiness of the relationship, of that kind of stuff, and use that as a teachable moment, especially for kids. And we talk about now, everybody's running out here to get married. seems like we're getting into this married culture. You know, the importance of your vows, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just other things that you can talk about. I think that you can use as an education piece. Again, everything being a teachable moment.
Yeah, Newcomb. Coach said the same thing. I mean, hey, it works, right?
Yeah, we're in a time now, man. Everybody can't keep a job. You know what I'm saying? AI is taking over. People out here, and I hate to say it, but that's the unfortunate part of what they're learning with AI and technology is how to get that quick come up or that quick bag, as they say. You know what I mean? And stuff like that they were doing in private, now they can upload it and then they can make some money off of it. And that's unfortunate. You know, again, we talk about all this power and technology that we can be trying to learn and utilize for good versus evil. And we decide to do things like this to put it out here to, like you mentioned earlier, to hurt people, hurt their families. You know what I mean? Hurt people. Do all these type of things that we're doing with technology that we could be trying to figure out to save lives and, build better communities. And these are the things that we're doing with the technology. So that's kind of be a better point to talk about, capitalize off of. But that's just me though. Not everybody might be thinking about that.
Well, that's the beauty of having multiple perspectives on stuff like that. Because, I mean, you said something. It was one key part in this, and I just want to highlight before we close out. Okay. You had mentioned that there are different levels of advancement. Because I was actually, we talking about the same thing, but you added. You were emphasizing something that I wasn't really looking at. And it was the fact that we're all still here. We've all made decisions, whether or not it was popular or not. We still aged. We still got taller. We still put on pounds. We still got we're still getting paychecks. We're still doing something. And that is still advancing technically. So that's the part where I'm like, yeah, I hear what he's saying. And
rumbling, stumbling, fumbling, man.
right, exactly. So overall, I think this was pretty dope one, man. I'm still dumbfounded by the fact that like these niggas be having all this money, man. They millionaires, bro. You can sleep with damn near whoever you want, and you still choose that. Like if you know somebody is known for exposing and humiliating people, why would you still put yourself? Why would you even still put yourself at risk like that?
Hey man, I can't answer them questions, man.
Yeah, I don't know either. That shit exhausting, bro. But not a good show, man. Shout out to Nuke, shout out to Spartacus, and shout out to everybody, man, who came through and hung out with us this morning, man. I hope y'all have a blessed day. See y'all later on. We got another one for y'all. Make sure you tap in. Oh no, I know it ain't the first. It ain't the first. She ain't the first person to do this. That's what I'm gonna say. This is a formula that has worked for years, and that was my thing. It's like, how the hell do you not see this? I just asked y'all this question the other day. Y'all know that these motherfuckers be on some bullshit, and y'all still be wanting to fuck with them, knowing that they got a history of this.
Yeah, some people don't care, man. And that's the reality. Yeah. Some people don't care.
Well, y'all can send all your money to me. I'll make sure that it gets used properly. We about to get up out of here though, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll see you guys later on. Lord willing. Do me a solid before you go, if you don't mind.
Push the goddamn button.
Peace.
mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me the tide isn't run on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep, longing to sing until I surpass peak, until they think we are equal. Please, all I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their phones would bleed, begging a generation